The deeds and teachings of Jesus Christ of Nazareth have obviously affected history as a whole, helping to shape the path those cultures, faiths, and civilizations have taken throughout human history. Even though the Bible provides an in-depth narrative of his existence, many people have looked to finds from archaeology to verify the Bible's assertions about him. Multiple discoveries made throughout the course of time have shed light on aspects of the world that Jesus and his contemporaries inhabited. In this video, we will look at the top 10 shocking biblical archaeological discoveries related to Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Number 10. Notable artifacts at Kuntillet, Ajrud. Kuntillet, Ajrud, an impressive historical site, can be found just a few kilometers west of the old Gaza Road. Despite its geographic isolation and relative inaccessibility from other villages, this area is identified by no biblical title. In 1975, a group of researchers visited the area and began digging. Two significant structures at Kuntillet, Ajrud have been preserved beautifully. The largest has several writings on its walls, entrance posts, ceramics, and granite jars, including early Hebrew and Phoenician inscriptions and depictions of people, animals, and gods. Notably, the Canaanite gods El and Baal were also honored alongside Yahweh, the God of the Bible, in these writings. Two pithoi, dating back to the 8th century BC and totaling around 30 pounds each, were arguably the most important find at Kuntillet, Ajrud. Number 9. The elusive location of the Pool of Siloam. According to John 9, Jesus cures a man born blind by creating a mud plaster and sticking it to his eyes, then instructing him to bathe in the Pool of Siloam. Until 2004, no one knew where the Pool of Siloam was from Jesus' day. As a result, two old steps were found during the maintenance of an irrigation system. When the researchers finished digging, they discovered a big pool. At the very least, 20 stairs going directly from the pavement to the water were discovered. One side of the water feature was dated to the 1st century AD using pottery found there, while the other end was found to have a massive wall and a pool segment from the time of the Old Testament. It is thought to have been constructed during Jesus' time, since it was found in the precise spot where academics have long conjectured the original Pool of Siloam to be. Number 8. Origins and context of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Without question, the Dead Sea Scrolls are among the most well-known and important biblical findings ever uncovered. These dozens of scrolls, most of which were discovered in the 1950s, were once part of the reading room of a Jewish sect that lived in a cave complex above the northwest beaches of the Dead Sea, Qumran. These scrolls, found in 11 caverns, include the entire Old Testament and relate to an ethnic group with ideals strikingly similar to those of the earliest Christians. Furthermore, strong evidence supports the idea that John the Baptist was a part of this community. Most scrolls are now housed in the Israel Museum, with some on exhibit in the Shrine of the Book. Number 7. The Nazareth inscription's lasting significance. This Edict of Caesar, discovered in 1878 and given the name Nazareth inscription, most certainly dates back to the time of Claudius, from 41 to 54 AD. The law states that in Israel, the death sentence applies to those who illegally remove corpses from family graves, particularly sepulchre-sealing tombs, like the one Jesus was laid to rest in. Based on an examination of the inscription's phrasing, experts have deduced that it is aimed squarely at the Jewish people. What renders this inscription so remarkable is that Caesar himself made the proclamation. Burial robbers were a common routine occurrence in ancient times, with treasures from tombs being taken, but seldom the corpses themselves. According to the Bible, the Jewish authorities purposely propagated the false rumor that the apostles of Jesus had stolen the body. Number 6. The harm on Temple Mount. The excavation of a lavish public tower adjacent to the Temple Mount has made guided tours available to the general public. British researcher Charles Warren made the first discovery of the structure in 1867, and excavations began in 1966. After their dig, historians determined that the building was built around the year 20 AD, around Jesus' era. A large fountain was a divider between the two entirely similar rooms. Because of its proximity to the Temple Mount and its exceptionally high degree of luxury, the building likely served as a residence for the wealthy and influential leaders of the Jewish community in the 1st century. In AD 33, an earthquake reportedly caused serious harm, prompting its reconstruction and reconfiguration into its current 3 vaulted halls. Number 5. The Stepstone Structure. the possible location of King David's castle was bolstered in 2005 by finding gigantic interlocking gates and a huge stone substructure linked to the stepped stone building. The huge stepping stone building on the eastern side of Mount Zion, adjacent to the city of David, is where many think the proof lies. However, getting permission for excavations in Jerusalem is extremely challenging. There have been at least 6 site excavations in the last century. The amazing 65-foot-high core structure was crucial to the cohesion and security of the city of David and is considered the most outstanding Iron Age construction in Israel. This old stone building is a magnificent reminder of the incredible splendor that would have been Jerusalem under David and Solomon. The edifice seems like a gigantic pile of boulders and stones, yet there's proof that it once housed a formidable fortress. Number 4, the Garden of Herod's Greatness. It turns out that King Herod, mostly remembered in the Bible for commanding the slaughter of children who would have been Jesus' age, also enjoyed planting. Pollen grains found in soil specimens over half a century ago at his Jericho castle digs demonstrated advanced horticulture. Clay vessels discovered by researcher Ehud Netzer were home to small pine, cypress, cedar, and olive trees. The garden was a show of Herod's greatness, a horticultural accomplishment to amaze visitors and subjects because many plant types would not have normally flourished in the barren landscape around Jericho. Number 3, a first-century mausoleum. In 1990, while working on a theme park outside Jerusalem, a crew accidentally smashed the top of a first-century mausoleum with a bulldozer. They called in the researchers and unearthed several ossuaries, notably one that was elaborately etched with the name Joseph, son of Caiaphas. There were the bones of 6 persons within, among a man who would have been 60 at the time and who many historians believe to be Caiaphas. Based on the Gospels, Caiaphas supervised Jesus' trial as a high minister. Caiaphas, whose full title was Joseph Caiaphas, served as high priest from AD 18 to AD 36, according to the antique biographer Josephus. There is widespread agreement among academics that these bones were from the high priest who presided over Jesus' trial. Number 2, the early Roman Jerusalem. Until the year 70 CE, when the temple was destroyed, early Roman Jerusalem was still a developing metropolis. As a side note, Herod's 3 separate Temple Mount expansions during his reign suggest his efforts to bolster his standing with the Romans and the Jewish population. Despite this, Jerusalem was built by the Romans. It was the host location for the Olympic Games. In addition, the temple, which doubled as a financial institution, was under the watchful eye of Roman soldiers stationed in Jerusalem. From 70 CE after its demise until 115 CE, when it was modified, Jerusalem was practically forgotten. The destruction of Jerusalem and its subsequent transformation into a Roman colony was something the earliest disciples of Jesus had to endure. Number 1, Ekron Inscription. Located amid the remains of a Philistine temple near the site of Tel Mikneh, the Ekron tablet was discovered in the 1990s and is sometimes overlooked by museum goers. The Ekron inscription is important for many reasons, including its paying tribute to the goddess Pelagia and the city's monarch, Achish. The findings confirmed the biblical Ekron's place, showed that the Philistines revered a supreme goddess, and revealed that they had adopted Hebrew by the 7th century BCE. Apart from the Bible, barely anything is understood about the history of the Philistines. What we know about the Philistine culture, history, faith, and linguistics has been significantly strengthened by the Ekron inscription. That's all for today. Do you want to find the next archaeological discovery? Then buy a metal detector at the International Detector Center. Do you love discovering history? If yes, then our channel is a treasure trove of knowledge, experiences, and discoveries. Now hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming up.